Do you ever struggle to get someone to agree to a request or a proposal? In this video, we're going to cover why no is better to push for than yes, and what's worse than both of those. Hi, I'm Campbell Sachs. This is Mind Bite Thursday, your weekly dose of the human edge in technology. This week, why reactance leads us to feel much more comfortable with no than yes. Why maybe is the worst thing when you're trying to get someone to agree to something. And what you can do to turn that around so that no becomes your friend. Reactance is what we all feel when we're pushed or railroaded into something. It's fundamentally a brain's self-protection mechanism, and it kicks into place anytime we feel we're being sold to, being pushed or told, or anytime we feel our choices, or our brain feels our choices, are being restricted. When we're looking to get someone to agree to a proposal, we're typically looking for yes, but yes tends to make people feel railroaded. If you're asking a series of questions or looking for yeses to go down a path, we feel railroaded, choices taken away, reactance kicks in, and we feel much more comfortable saying no. And we tend to say no. And that's why often when you're looking for yeses, people will push back, and the thing that you're trying to achieve ends up going in a direction other than you thought you wanted it to. So if yes is what we want and no is what we automatically tend to say when we're pushed for something or feel our choices are being taken away due to reactance, what's the other choice? Or what's the other thing that can come up? And the other thing that can come up is maybe. We tend to think maybe is just below yes and not as bad as no. However, if you think about it, what does maybe tell you? Maybe pushes things off into the future. And what that means is that you haven't got a yes or a no, and you have to wait, and it's all out of your hands. If you get a no, you know it's gone and you can move on. If you get a yes, you know you're heading down the right path. But yeses often get a reactance that goes to no, so we can come back to that in a second. But maybe just pushes things out. So what I encourage you to do is, if you get a maybe, is to try and understand what the maybe is all about. And the best way to do that is with some questions. And one of the best ways to ask a question, or one of the best questions you can ask, is to preface it with just out of curiosity, or I'm curious, and then ask whatever it is that they're looking to put it off for. A classic example of that would be, I need to think about it. So the question to ask is, well, why do you need to think about it? But if you ask that question, you're likely to get a negative reaction. However, if you put, just out of curiosity, what is it that you need to think about? It softens it, and you'd be amazed at how often you'll get an answer on that. And then when they come back with an answer, you can dig into that some more. Tell me a little bit more about that, or I'm interested to find out what does that mean? And you can find that, uncover what the real reason that they might be wanting to put it off with. But maybe is the worst thing. So see if you can push past maybe, uncover the reason for the maybe, and then maybe you can go forward, get a yes or a no on your proposal. At least then if it's a no, you know it's gone and you can move on, or if it's a yes, then you can plan next steps. Another thing that I found is a useful approach is, because of our tendency, an automatic tendency to say no, because of the whole reactance and not wanting to be funneled down a path or have our choices restricted, is instead of asking a question that gets a yes, is to ask a question that gets a no. Well, that seems a bit crazy. Well, what if you turned the question around so that no meant yes? That way it fits in with our brain's need to feel safe and say no, but it gives the person a choice, and if you can give them a choice and give them an out, makes them feel much more comfortable, and it's amazing what it can lead to. So a good example of this is when you make a phone call to talk to someone, or you go into someone's office to talk to them. You could say to them, is this a good time to talk? The challenge with that is that's a yes question, which makes them feel pushed, and a little bit of reactance may kick in. However, if you flip the question around and say, is this a bad time to talk? Then they can say no. You've given them a choice, you've minimized a reaction, they've been able to say no, so the brain feels good, and they're far more likely to say yes. Anytime you want to ask someone a question to do something for you, consider flipping it around and ask them a question that lets them say no, which will give them choice, which will make their brain feel more comfortable and more likely to effectively say yes to you by saying no. So to recap, reactance is the thing that we feel, that our brain feels automatically when we're railroaded, when we're being sold to, when we're being pushed, and when we feel our choices are being restricted. So our natural reaction is to say no to a request. Give people an out and a choice. Look to ask a question that no is the natural answer to. And the best way to do that is to flip your questions around. Is this a good time to talk versus is this a bad time to talk, which is much more likely to get a yes. If you'd like more information or videos like this, subscribe to the Integration Catalyst YouTube channel, links below the video. And if you'd like to see whether I might be able to help you with wherever you are in your career and with your aspirations to help grow and accelerate your career going forward, reach out to me through the link below or on the website, and you can book a 30-minute complimentary, free, low-key, no pressure, no obligation strategy and coaching session to see whether there might be a fit. I can understand a bit about you, you can understand a bit about me, and whether or not there might be some benefit for both of us in going forward with a connection, how I might be able to help you, and then you can make the decision completely up to you. So that's Campbell Such, Mind Bite Thursday for this week. Over and out, see you next week.